Hi guys. So I fell asleep last night and didn't get to make my reading for you, but I'm going to do two today, one for yesterday and then one for today. And we're going to start out today with this book. I'm so excited. This book, as you can see on the cover of the book, there's the title, and the title says The Good Egg. And you can look at the cover and the pictures to kind of make some predictions, because you're like, a book about an egg, Miss Jackson? And you see him standing on an egg carton, and there's other things that look like he's in a refrigerator, like milk and jelly. And he has these big old glasses on. Isn't he a cute little egg? But he's called the Good Egg. I wonder why he's called the Good Egg. What makes him good? Because that's an adjective describing it, right? There's the noun egg. That's the person, place, or thing. In this case, it's a thing. And the adjective that's describing him is good. It's telling what he is. He's good. So let's find out why he's called the Good Egg. Oh, I'm so excited to read with you today. All right. We open up to the title page again. It gives us the title again. It gives us that same clues, but also gives the author and the illustrator. That's Jory John and Pete Oswald. They work together to be the author, write the story, come up with the ideas in their minds. You guys are authors too. And the illustrator to draw the pictures or the illustrations to go along with the thoughts they had, so you can better understand the story. All right, so let's turn to the first page. And here we see our setting. Our very first setting in the book is obviously outside somewhere. And you can't tell if it's day or night because the pictures kind of have a gray background. But he's up in a tree. Oh, hello. I was just rescuing this cat. Know why? Because I'm a good egg. A very good egg. I knew to read it that way because the author wrote the word that way. Now, right here, we see something different than some stories that we usually read. This story is told from a different point of view. Who is telling this story? Is it another person like we normally see, like a narrator or just the author writing it? No, it's an actual character in the book. It's the egg. The egg is telling the story about himself, see? And you know that because he uses words like I. I was just rescuing this cat. And he's speaking to you. Oh, hello. That's different than what we're normally seeing. A character is telling the story about himself. Let's see what he says now. It's true. I do all kinds of good things, like I'll carry your groceries. Look at that. He's carrying the groceries for Mrs. Bacon there. I'll water your plants. Look at him water the plants. Oh, that looks a little, I'll change your tire. Look, poor Mr. Strawberry. His car broke down and Egg is changing his tire. I'll paint your house. He painted the house and the tree with all different colors. And look at Mr. Bread. Does Mr. Bread look excited about that? No. So he thinks he's helping, but he's kind of messing some things up, like overwatering the plants. He makes Mr. Strawberry hold the car up, and he painted Mr. Bread's house all kind of funny. If you need any help whatsoever, I'm your egg. So these are the reasons he gave why he's a good egg, because he helps people. That's a good thing to do, isn't it? He helps people, even if he's a little kind of crazy with his help. I've always been a good egg. It's been this way from the start, even in my earliest days. So he's thinking back into his past. Remember when we talked about that? Past, present, and future? And he says, back at the store. So this is where he started. He started at a farmer's market. A chicken laid him, and then they took him in a truck to a farmer's market. There were dozens of us. Does anybody know what that word dozen means? Let's look at the picture. There were dozens of them. I'm going to give you a clue. It's a word that tells how many. So this is a dozen. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 2 more makes a 10, and a 2 makes 12. Yeah, a dozen is 12. Living together under one recycled roof. There was Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelly and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and another Frank. Now that's pretty funny. Can you see what the author did there? He named them Meg, Peg, Greg, Clegg. They all have what in them? They're rhyming words, right? Meg, Peg, Clegg. They all have the word egg in them because they're eggs. That's pretty funny. And Shell and Shelly, why would the author pick those names to be funny? Yeah, it's because they have shells, right? But then just to be truly funny, he said, and 2 of them were named Frank, because that's just ridiculous. That's just being silly. Now, let's look really close, because our illustrations sometimes tell us a little bit about our characters and their character traits too. If we look at the faces the illustrator chose to put on these eggs, we can start to see some character traits of the eggs. Let's look at this one right here. He's barely peeking out of the carton. what's a character trait or an adjective we can use to describe somebody that's kind of looking like that? Did you say nervous or scared? Did you say bashful? Have you heard the word bashful? Have you seen the Seven Dwarfs? Ooh, I made a text-to-text connection. I know that people that kind of look like they're hiding might be bashful, like the Seven Dwarfs. The dwarf that was bashful. He didn't want to be seen. Ooh, look at this lady. I think she's a girl egg because she has those really long eyelashes, but she's kind of got what kind of eyes? Yeah, she looks like she's up to no good. Some evil eyes, doesn't she? Look at this guy. He's kind of what? Ooh, sleepy. And this guy looks a little scared, yeah. And they look like they're about to what? Fight. So there's fighting ones. And this poor little guy, look at him. Yep, he looks a little kooky, doesn't he? So we can see a little bit about some of their character traits of these different eggs right there in the picture, the illustration. So we turn to the next page. The other 11 eggs weren't on their best behavior. They weren't exactly good. So he's comparing them to him. He's saying, I'm a good egg, but these eggs, they weren't so good. They ignored their bedtime. They wouldn't go to bed when they're stuffed. Oh, that's awful. They only ate sugary cereal. Oh, no, that's not good for them. And look at this picture. They threw tantrums. Maybe you've never heard that word tantrums before, but you know, that's why the illustrators give us pictures, because sometimes the pictures can help us understand words we don't know. So if you took a second and look at, this is them throwing a tantrum. What do you think a tantrum is? Or maybe you can make a connection to yourself, a text to self connection. Have you ever seen anybody throw a tantrum? Have you thrown a tantrum? Yeah. You can stop and tell your mom what you think a tantrum is, or whoever's listening. Did you start back? Yeah, a tantrum is like throwing a fit, right? They cried for no reason. They broke their stuff on purpose. Oh, they are some naughty eggs. Meanwhile, I tried to take charge. I tried to fix their bad behavior. I tried to keep the peace because I was a good egg. Here you go again. A, say it with me. Very good egg. He was a very good egg. He's trying to clean up their mess and get them to stop being silly. Nobody seemed to care though. Every night I was exhausted. Show me with your body what exhausted looks like. Ugh. That's right. It means very, very what? Tired. My head felt scrambled. Then one fateful morning, I noticed some cracks in my shell. Look, he's saying something there. He's going, yikes. Look, they had put a kick me sign on him. They were everywhere. Is it a good thing for an egg to crack? No, we can make a connection to the world. We know what happens when eggs crack, don't we? My doctor said it was from all the pressure I was putting on myself. The pressure of making sure everybody was as good as me. So he says, you're stressing yourself out. You're getting too worked up. Have you ever felt stressed out like Mr. Egg? I was cracking up, literally. I like this page because Lindsay, my daughter, she likes to use that word literally all the time. She's like, literally, Mom, you're driving me crazy. Literally. And the reason they use literally here, that's a word that means I really mean it. Exactly what I'm saying, that's what I mean. Because when you say the words cracking up, that's kind of like an idiom. That's a phrase that they're saying they don't really mean they're literally cracking usually. They usually just mean they're going crazy, they're losing it. When somebody says, oh, you're cracking me up, you're making me laugh so hard, they don't really mean you're cracking people usually. But in this case, he has to say literally because he really does mean that. He means he's literally having cracks put in him. It's really happening. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was cool. Something had to change. I had had enough. So let's see what he does to change. I told Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelly and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and the other Frank I was leaving. I can't be the only good egg in this cart, I said. And you know what those naughty eggs said? Can you guess what they said? Because they're naughty. They went, blah, 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 blah. Oh, is that a nice thing to say? Were they seeking first to understand? Were they trying to understand him? No, they weren't. They weren't. I left that night. So he left because they were just still being naughty. I wandered from town to town. He not wandered like he's thinking, wandered. That means he's roaming around. See him roaming around? The hours became days and the days became weeks and I lost track of time. Look, he grew a beard. I was alone. Do you notice he drew faces on all these rocks? What is he trying to make them look like? Can you tell? Yeah, he's making them look like his friends that he misses from the carton because he's lonely. Out there on the road, under the stars, I really tried to focus on myself and what I needed. So he cut off his beard and he said, I'm going to start doing things I need. Let's see what he did. Because right now, during this time when there's lots of stressful things going on, you need to find some time, right? Your mommies need to too if they're watching this, and your daddies, to focus on yourself and try to find some time to do something you really like. It'll make it feel better. I took walks. There he is. I read books. What a great idea. Miss Jackson loves to read books. Look at the books he's reading. Great Expectations, The Wizard of Eggs, Yolksley, and Dragula, like Dracula, but it's Dragula. All the books have egg titles. That's funny. I floated in the river. I wrote in my journal. Another great idea to write about this. This is a historic time, guys. So write down your feelings and your thoughts. One day you'll share them with your families. I found simple moments to be quiet. I breathed in and I breathed out. I even started painting. I bet right now my class, if you would, when you're listening, you could make a connection like Spinny the spider. Remember Spinner the spider? And how Spinner the spider likes when she reads to make connections to the story. Everything makes her think of something else. We use those words, this reminds me of, or that I understand this part of the story because I remember when. Well, I can make a connection. Can you? Right here, when he's breathing in and breathing out. Yeah, did you make the connection like I did to myself and like maybe you did to our class? That when we were learning, we would take yoga breaks. Do you remember? And we do our rainbow breathing and we learn to breathe in through our nose and then out through our mouth. And we make our rainbows, remember? So I understand why he's doing that. It helps calm us down. I can understand what he's doing here because I've done it myself. That's making a good connection like Spinner the spider. For once, I found time for me. Look, he's in a spa. Look at that. And the clock even says me time. And guess what? Little by little, the cracks in my shell started to heal. My head no longer felt scrambled. So how has his feelings changed? He went from being very what? Sad and worried and upset and lonely to now feeling better and more in control. And he didn't feel scrambled. He felt more like himself because he calmed down and he relaxed and he tried to just breathe, right? I started to feel like myself again. Look at him doing his yoga, guys. Remember his meditation pose? We've done that. So I've made a big decision. I'm returning to my old carton and my friends. Besides, I'm kind of lonely out here. So he's still a little lonely, so he's decided to return to his friends. And I love this part because we've been working for so long on the leader in us, right? We've been talking about leader in me, and we've been talking about our 7 habits, and we were almost through every habit. We talked about every habit. We were studying each one very closely each month, right? And remember when we studied seek first to understand, then to be understood? I think he finally was like, you know what? I can't live without them, so I'm going to have to go back and try to understand them. And then have them try to understand me. Because before he was just like, stop, guys, stop. And trying to get them to see things his way. But now he's like, I got to go back and I got to understand them first. So he went back and he said, I'm not going to try to worry so much. So he was letting them do their silly things. And he wasn't worrying about it anymore. He was just letting them, he was trying to understand what made them happy. But then he used another habit. Watch this. He thought win-win. He said, you know what? I want to live with you guys. I want to be around you guys, but I also want to take care of me. So you remember how much he liked going to the spa and stuff? He started showing them how to do that too. He said, I'll be good to my fellow eggs while also being good to myself. So he was doing something he liked, but he taught them how to do it too. So they like it too. So he's helping them and helping himself. That's think win-win. Isn't that perfect? 2 great habits Egg is using to solve his problem right there. His problem was he couldn't live with them because they were too naughty, but he was too lonely without them, right? And then the solution he came up with was to use his 7 habits, guys, to try to understand them and to think win-win. What an amazing thing. Right here in our book, The Habits. Here we go. Everybody missed me. And I missed them too. Look, when he came back, they're like, welcome home. We're so glad to see you back. Hello, Meg. Howdy, Peg. Hey, Greg. Greetings, Craig. What's up, Shell? Aloha, Shelly. Hey-oh, Sheldon. Hi, Shelby. Good day, Egbert. What's happening, Frank? Howdy do, other Frank. Well, that's a ways to say hello, huh? Sure, every once in a while, somebody still was a bit bad, but it's not like before. Here's what I realized. The other eggs, they're not perfect, and I don't have to be perfect either. I'm okay with that. So has the eggs changed? Maybe a little bit. Has he changed? Maybe a little bit. What's changed is the way he's looking at it. Remember how we talked about mindset? You might not be able to change your situation like right now. We can't change our situation, but we can control how we feel about it and how we think about it and what we do with it. And that's why I like this book, because the message the author is trying to teach you is that maybe sometimes what you need to do is just change the way you think about it, right? And that's what Miss Jackson's been doing. She's been using her time to try to reach out to you guys. I did a Zoom call with you yesterday, and it was so great to hear all of you guys. Because instead of focusing on what we can't have, let's focus on what we can still do. And we can still reach out to each other, and we can still have lessons. We're just going to do them in a different way. And it's not a better way, it's not a worse way, it's just a different way. And we're still going to make good things out of what might some see as a stressful situation. Yep, the old carton is back together. We're a solid dozen again. Look, they're drawing underwear on him. That's funny. It's good to be home. Look, this one's trying to crack him. They're still a little naughty, but he's changing the way he thinks about it. I love it. This was definitely a 7 Habits book, and it made Miss Jackson super smile. I hope it made you smile too. Now, we've read our book. You can go back, and what I would encourage you to do, try to retell the events. Tell what happened first, then next, then, and last. First, next, then, and last. Or somebody wanted, but so then. Remember the 2 different ways we learned to retell? A fiction book, a book that was meant to entertain you. And this one was definitely made to make us laugh, but also maybe make us feel things and maybe give us a good message, a moral message of, look at the way you're looking at things. Maybe if you look at them a different way, it won't be so bad. I have an idea for you today. If you get done with your book and you want an excellent game to play and get excited about, I saw this book game where it's kind of like the plate game we play in class, guys. You can take eggs from Easter eggs. Your mom probably has some in a container somewhere. Or you can order them on Amazon because you can't go out and about. And you take the Easter eggs and you split them apart. So let me see. Well, they're like this, right? You just split them apart and you put them face down and you write different things on them. Now, you can practice whatever words your group is practicing. I have told the parents before, like some of you are working on blends, some of you are working on digraphs, some of you are working on sneaky E words, some of you are working on CVC words, some of you are working on, or all of you are working on sight words. So whichever words you want to choose to practice, or you can mix them up. Like I have a mixture. I have a sight word here. I have a CVC word there. I have a sneaky E word and a sight word there. A sneaky E word. I have a blend word, st-op. I have a digraph word, ch-op. Digraphs are like ch, sh, th, w. The H brothers, remember those guys? And blends are like bl, cr, tr, 2 letters that blend together make a sound. And the CVC words, moms, are like 3-letter words like log that have a short vowel sound in that they can sound out and blend together. And then sight words are those words that I've been giving you. You should know those by now. And then the other thing you can do is you can mix it and match it. You can even take words and be like, my word is hat. You have to give me a word to rhyme with hat. We can work on rhyming there. Or you can put words and clap out syllables in the words. Or you can say, okay, the word is log. Tell me the sound you hear in the middle. Ah, good. Is it a short vowel or a long vowel? You can change it up any way you want, moms and dads. And what they do to make it fun for you guys is they hide things under the eggs. So if I was to pick an egg and I don't pick it up, the mommies pick it up or the daddies. And I point to this when I say, that word is come, mommy. If that's what she wants me to do, tell me the word. She'll say, yep, you're right. Then we pick it up and there's a prize underneath it for me. You can use change. You can use candy. You can use stickers, whatever prizes you guys want to come up with. I used to do it with my daughter, Lindsay, and my son, Joshua. And we use change and we collect the change in a jar. And when they got to a certain amount, we get to go and buy something with it. You probably can't make it out to the dollar store right now, but you could probably order something on Amazon. But you do it like that, and you just keep going until you find everything. Now, not every egg is going to have something underneath it. If I got this one, there's nothing underneath it, but that's okay. That's kind of the fun of the game. Finding the good egg, like in the story, the good egg, the one with thing. I thought that was pretty funny. I hope you like the idea. I hope you're having a good time with your family and enjoying this time to slow down and just think. If you have any questions or any ideas or a book idea for me, let me know. I miss you guys. Love ya. Mwah.